Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out this headline. Ripple has been activated. That's all I got to say, but I got a lot to show you. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.17 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. The market is off by 0.7%. Good morning. 26,900 plus for Bitcoin, 1,800 plus for Ethereum. Tether market cap 82.8 billion plus. We're watching it. 46 cents per XRP. It is up 8.2% on the 7-day, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I want to tell you about Glint. If you haven't checked it out, gold is money. Buy, save, send, and spend real gold instantly with Glint. And by the way, if you click the link underneath for my sponsor, you are going to get a 50% off for the next year on the vault fees and anything involved with a fee. It is off by 50%. Click the link and use the code. Don't mess around. It is a limited time offer. Now let's get into this. We'd say when, with all the stuff going around about Ledger and all the questions we've had, and you guys know what I've done in that regard for myself, I will be moving my assets off of Ledger that I've trusted for more than 6 years because of the conversation that Ledger has created. I have more questions than answers, unfortunately, and it has served me well for more than 6 years. But until I get absolute specifics and absolute answers, I am not going to be on their product until I see some certainty there. We'd Say When says, super proud to present Zum Wallet's security audit report. Thank you very much, people. And it says out to Cossack Labs here, you have been amazing and instrumental raising Zum Wallet bar when it comes to security. And that's why I'm going to be splitting some of what I hold between Zum Wallet and Uphold, where I've been using for years as well. This is just what I'm going to do until I find either another solution to split my stuff up into thirds, which you guys know I usually do. But until I figure that out, this is what my solution is going to be, and I'm happy to do it. So shout out to Vite Wen and the team over there at XRP Ledger Labs, and we will see how all of this conversation develops in the future. But that's where I stand today, not financial advice. I want to start with this clip here from Chris Larson from Ripple. I want to start with this clip here because we had the recent announcement here just 2 days ago about Ripple launching the CBDC stablecoin platform for central banks. And I want you to see this. And we know that it doesn't have to use XRP, but XRP and the XRP Ledger is absolutely a part of that full stack offering. Take a listen to this clip here.
We think this is all about then head down. Let's start building. Let's kind of knock off all the disruption talk that is really actually holding things back. I would argue that some of the early Bitcoin discussions around, hey, we're going to kill the banks and we're going to take everything over, have been a major setback in this sort of fintech wave. And we need to get off this kind of adolescent, chest-pounding, arrogant, Trump-like attitude about how innovation works.
There's no question about that, and Bitcoin's going to pay for it before it's over with, I personally believe. Not that I want anybody to lose any money, but I can't pound the ground on it any harder than I have. When you have a project that is talking about anti-bank, anti-establishment, down with the dollar, putting dollar fiat money in a casket and showing a funeral procession walk, I tell you, that is asking for the U.S. government to really target your project. That's what I see happening, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But in the meantime, shout out to XRP Mickle Markets here, who says, sounds like to be the U.S. is fully in place or in play once the SEC gets steamrolled. And it sounds like that to me too. I believe Ripple has been activated. We're going to talk more about the many pieces of information that have come out in just the last 72 hours.
What clients do you have right now?
So right now we have several clients. We've announced 4. Today, actually, in parallel with this announcement, we announced that we're working with the HKMA in Hong Kong on building out a real estate tokenization platform with CBDC. We also have 3 other projects, one with the Central Bank of Montenegro, and then 2 others. One is with the Central Bank, the Royal Monetary Authority in Bhutan, and then the final is with Palau, which is republic that doesn't have actually a central bank, so they're having we're working with them to issue a government-issued stablecoin.
You just mentioned 4 jurisdictions that are very different from each other. Talk to me a little bit about why you're choosing to work with these governments first.
Well, as I said, we are working with some of those that we can't talk about yet. But generally, we find that a lot of the smaller countries are a bit more nimble and are able to do things more quickly. Probably the opposite end of the spectrum is, the European Central Bank, the Eurozone, or the US, where it's a very complex environment, a lot of different vested, interested parties, regulatory uncertainty in some cases. So some other countries, the countries I mentioned, are able to move more quickly, and that is great for us because it gives us great experience, early on in this marketplace, and it's also great for those countries
as well. And I tell you something, when she mentioned, there are 4 different areas where they're completely different jurisdictions and the things that have to be dealt with, that was a very good point, because I think it speaks to the flexibility of that full stack offering of Ripple's new platform for central banks and stable coins. How about that? And we have so much more for you to see, so don't you go anywhere. Now, parties filed the joint letter for 1-week extension until June 13, 2023 to file public unredacted versions of cross motions for summary judgment and accompanying exhibits, which includes the Hinman materials and the email drafts. Breaking, the Judge Torres has granted the request to extend the deadline to June 13th. And then we have this. A lot of people have started to speculate because of that 1-week extension that has been asked for by both parties. John Deaton says a lot of comments about whether this delay is for settlement discussions. He says if the Hinman emails were going to lead to a settlement, it would have been before they turned them over to Ripple. In my opinion, the SEC has accepted that Hinman emails are eventually going to be made public. How about that? And then here from Ashley Prosper says, this move to extend time for filing the public unredacted versions of the summary judgment motion makes it unlikely that the SEC will appeal the decision Judge Torres made to unseal certain information. What a fantastic point that is. Otherwise, why not file the appeal first and then, if they lost, ask for the extra time? As I said before, this extra time move could be used to negotiate a settlement. That doesn't mean it will. They could just really need the extra time to sort out and it be nothing more than that. But I'm optimistic about it, says Ashley Prosper. If there are negotiations taking place, hopefully the pressure of having information they wanted sealed becoming public will keep them at the table until the deal is final. If the information becoming public is a major factor to consider for both parties, then they have until June 13th, if Judge Torres agrees to the extension, which we know she has. This tweet was before that information. So we will watch closely to see what we get. These are all windows to pay attention to. And one more here. This is Fred Rispoli says, to elaborate on my own wild speculation, Judge Torres' rulings may have prodded the parties into accepting their weaknesses, and there is a last-ditch effort at settlement. The only settlement that makes sense to me at this point is Ripple pays large penalty, must register its future XRP sales on agreed upon basis, and XRP is not a security. Secondary XRP sales are not securities transactions. Both sides give up a lot on this and neither get the true win, the hallmark of a great compromise. Now, what I share in this is that I find interesting in this outlook, and shout out to Fred Rispoli from Hodl Law, is that if you think about it, if they do a settlement, it would be in the SEC's favor. If the SEC were to risk an out-and-out loss, well, what happens to the regulation by enforcement approach? What happens to the whack-a-mole approach? And I don't think that the SEC is going to risk losing that actual leverage. So that may speak to settlement talks too. And remember, if we do get a settlement, that's probably going to speak more specifically to Ripple and XRP sales than it will broadly the whole crypto space. So that means the rest of the crypto space could be in for a 2+ year ride the way we have. Stuart Alderati reminds everybody here, Friday is legal for legal nerds. Yesterday, in its Twitter opinion, the Supreme Court made clear that you don't just mechanically apply factors from an old case. You must adapt them to a new world by looking at the underlying statute and the soil of the common law that comes with it. This is consistent with Ripple's argument that Howey and its operative statute carries the soil of common law, in which an investment contract requires a contract for an investment that creates post-sale rights for the purchaser and obligations on the seller. How about that one? And to tie things up here, we go into this news because that deals with the case. So let's move into this. Shout out to Monica Long, the new president for Ripple here. Honored that Ripple was one of the few selected to participate in the EHKD pilot program, building a real estate asset tokenization use case with Fubon Bank, leveraging our CBDC platform. She goes on to say here, tokenization of real-world assets such as homes, bonds, equity, investment funds, etc., is primed to be in the tens of trillions of dollars by 2030. I'm especially excited, listen to this, about the potential to bring all kinds of illiquid assets on-chain in the near future. Oh my, oh my. Ripple has been activated, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Think about what we're seeing here. You got the EHKD pilot program and all its use cases. And by the way, CBDC pilot program, real estate tokenization pilot program, and DeFi, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget about the Medico deal as well, which is bringing custody in-house to Ripple. What a great vertical for their institutional clients. This is remarkable what we're seeing happen, but it doesn't stop there, because then we found out yesterday afternoon. Today we are proud to announce Warren Jensen is joining the board of directors at Ripple. And guess what? This is what Brad Garlinghouse says right here. Thrilled to welcome Warren Jensen to Ripple's board and as the new chair of our audit committee. How about that? Transparency and trust are the two hallmarks that drive crypto forward, and Warren's decades of expertise here will be an incredible resource as we continue to grow globally. Warren is a former CFO from Amazon. Well, now you got to start wondering if we're going to hear about an Amazon partnership popping off here soon. And then we have to understand that Amazon is absolutely a massive company, and Warren has the expertise as a CFO there to deal with that kind of massive growth. And that to me is impressive. And knowing that he is the new chair of our audit committee, even more transparency happening here. I can only feel that there are very good things to come from this case once we get a ruling and or settlement. I tell you, Ripple is moving as if they have been activated, as if they may possibly already know what the outcome is. And I tell you, I couldn't be more excited. My inspiration tank is full, I'm telling you. And then there's this. This was interesting. Mr. Hubert says, do you realize what Ripple did within the last 72 hours? Torres issued her order on the Hinman emails. They acquired Medico, launched a CBDC platform, and hired an ex-Amazon CFO. Looking forward to next week. And that was retweeted by Brad Garlinghouse. And look, you know, Brad doesn't normally deeply involve himself. I think, honestly, having him make an appearance at XRP Las Vegas may also be a tip to the hat that we know that this thing is about to be over, and in some shape, way, or form be a positive move forward for Ripple and XRP and the XRP ledger itself. I tell you, I couldn't be more excited. This is a wonderful time to see all of this happen. And as Mr. Hubert says here, I can't wait to see what next week brings here. This is remarkable. Ed Greg Crypto says, speaking of next week and beyond that, let's look forward to June and July, because we could see in his previous post, he clearly stated that there may be a cross between the 10 and 100 MA moving average here, as you can see in this. And what may it bring when it does? Will it be the upside or the downside? That remains to be seen. All of this is exciting to watch, and none of it is financial advice. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.